but it's becoming increasingly obvious. I can deny it no longer!
I made a mistake.
Is Mad Max Fury Road Dieselpunk?
Okay, in my horrible defense, this was my 4th video in the series and a lot has changed since then, including my diligence when it comes to researching. So yeah, I'm an idiot. And yeah, that. Exactly that. Ish. Hello and welcome to What's Up Punk. We take a look at the myriad subgenres underneath the umbrella of punk. Today we'll be taking a look at Desertpunk. Serape and irons at the ready. The wasteland will bleach the bones of the unprepared. What is Desertpunk? Like Ocean Punk, this one comes in a few variants. The most common is humanity either went out into the stars looking for an M-class planet to colonize and found a solar system of Tatooines. Or humanity's always been on a dirt ball of just sand. The alternative is actually strangely less prevalent, which is humanity fucked up Earth into a coma, and well...
The city's exploded. A whirlwind of looting. A firestorm of fear.
Likely because the former doesn't run into the pitfalls of having to explain when this takes place or how the world fell into darkness. No matter what version you go with, it's a genre of the lone or band of road warriors, working off a concept people in the year 2021 should get slide to real quick. God knows I have, the gig economy. Every dirtball town in the waste is the same as every other dirtball town in the waste. Too many people, not enough water, and not enough people with the testicular fortitude to defend their scrap of it. Most Desertpunk protagonists are solos, bounty hunters, jacks of all trades, or lone gunmen rolling into town, doing a job, getting paid, moving on to the next town. Setting right what once went wrong, guided by their own personal codes and morality. Your mileage may vary on the morality.
That robot I killed will be worth millions, but it's a threat to the Oasis governments. I can assure you, if they find out about this, it will be the end of your company. They would go out of their way to silence each and every one of us for what we've seen here. If we make it look like an accident and kill you right now, then the rest of us will be spared. That way, at least we could recoup our costs.
Okay, now some of you might be thinking, that kind of covers all post-apocalyptic or desert-based stories. Where's the line? Some will cover in tech and aesthetic, but that's why I put your attention to the gig economy, as there is an economy and a society. It's still a punk genre, we got our thumb or nose at some bigwig. My favorite example is the King from Toriyama's best work, Sandland. The gov in this universe charge insane prices for water, aka a thing humans need or will die. Why? Because there's a shortage. That they caused. Oh, it gets better. Wiped out a race of people because they were building tech to make water. Dicks. Or put another way, Mad Max and Road Warrior, not Desertpunk, because society was either on the way out or already out. Beyond Thunderdome and Fury Road, Desertpunk because they do have a society. Also cybernetics. Leading us into technology.
Higher the scales of justice! Conductor of the choir of death!
Hi! Feeling a little inadequate?
There was a firefight!
Sometimes I kill for money. Sometimes I kill for justice.
Was it good for you too? Yeah, this one carries a bit of the Dieselpunk with it, that this is gun and vehicle prawn. If it takes place in the future, digging up old irons and recycling cars are the waste. If you're going with a other planet or point of origin, casting new ones, giving the Desertpunk lots of options. That being said, I think you want something either advanced enough that the sand isn't going to be an issue, or something that isn't complicated to clean or maintain with graphite and oil. I'd stick with lever actions or revolvers, maybe an automatic pistol, though I hear the AK is a very good desert-based weapon. However, that's where my limited knowledge on firearms ends. One thing everyone can agree on to have in a desert is tanks and giant robots. If you gotta walk the bleached hellscape, might as well be somewhat comfortable. That being said, Desertpunk does spiral out a world that's advanced technology or getting close to it. Examples being the aforementioned giant robots of Zoids, to the encounter suit and androids found in Desertpunk, the anime, not the genre, to the chrome found in Trigon and on Furiosa. And just like everything past Fallout. So tech-wise, looking for something that can work in an arid environment and minimal maintenance.
Asgard would never invent a weapon that propels small weights of iron.
Okay, I get your point.
We cannot think like you.
Aesthetic. If we're working off a colonized planet or just not Apocalypse Earth, we're dealing with a very Wild West style, both in architecture and fashion. For example, a single wall structure if it consists of a vertical stacking wood plank interior, walls covered by exterior horizontal wood siding. Basically, stuff that's built just to last for now. You build something better and hardier once you actually have the materials to do it. On the shops and bars side of things, we got false front types of commercial architecture, often used on two-story buildings. The style includes vertical facades with square tops, often hiding pitched roofs. The goal of the architecture is to project an image of stability and success, when in reality this place could be gone tomorrow or was built yesterday. Spend any time in Old Sac or frontier towns, you know what I'm talking about. On post-apocalyptic Earth, we're dealing mostly with reclaimed buildings, basically Fallout. Stirring up destroyed buildings and repurposing them like Diamond City or any mall in a zombie apocalypse. We're really giving Desertpunk and Solarpunk of all things a connection, as that also has repurposing buildings. Just on the Desertpunk side, it's shoring up emplacements and sightlines, and on Solar, it's gardens and sun farms. On the gear side, we're looking at Stensons, bowler hats, western jackets, and ponchos. Leather pants, basically if Clint Eastwood wore it in a western, it's fair game. Dean Winchester's closet, still game.
Fetish. Shut up, I like old movies. You can recite every Clint Eastwood movie ever made, line for line.
Even the monkey movies?
Yeah, especially the monkey movies.
His name is Clyde.
Outside of survival gear, going as far as still suits from Dune to modern desert wrap clothing or high-tech ponchos to reclaim clothes items of the old world. And dusters, because dusters are just cool. On the thematic sides of things, we got, well, he helped us. We don't even know his name. Who was that masked man? Don't you know? He's Mando. As with the good old Mando, these are the romanticized tales of the Old West East transplanted into the future other world. The lone or semi-lone, as the quote says, even the Lone Ranger wasn't. Putting back what once went wrong and walking off to the sunset. But also like the Mando, they're looking to get paid. It is always very interesting that we always keep coming back to this. The idea of the frontier spirit and the frontier idea of, well, we get there, sometimes the settlement does well and sometimes the settlement goes wrong, and sometimes the settlement goes so right we make the same mistakes we did before. Corruption and use of power and just general not being able to take care of our own damn selves. And we always believe in the Lone West Wanderer, Lone West Warrior, Lone West Hero, even from the east to the west, and we know from our own histories those aren't true. Well, not to the point we've romanticized them. But yet, humanity always comes back to these stories. And the idea that when the good could triumph over evil instead of just constantly being just beaten down by it all. And there lies our punks. We are the madman who will try to fight even when everyone else tells us we cannot, will not. Because there's nothing else to do. If nothing we do matters, then all that matters is what we do. Where did Desertpunk start? Dune? Probably. Yeah, outside the reviews of the living meme that is the Lynch movie, I don't know much about the material around Dune or the plethora of remakes about it, but it fits. This particular genre of punk is not well documented. It's just something that's kind of come up. Like I said before, we always seem to keep coming back to these stories. and for good reason, they're great stories. Real life desert punks. Wasteland Weekend. It's an annual festival in Edwoods, California. The event is listed as a full immersive event, with all the participants required to adorn themselves in the set theme. It has since been an annual, held until, 2020. Wasteland draws heavily from the apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic fiction, especially Mad Max franchises, Fallout, and requires all attendees to wear appropriate themed clothes. It's a trip, and participants create items to barter with other participants for other items. You ever get a chance to go and you don't mind the heat, check it out. My recommendations. Trigun. One of the gems of the 90s, Trigun is quintessential desert punk. Alien planet, Wild West aesthetic with advanced tech. Trigun revolves around the man known as Vash the Stampede, and two insurance society employees, Meryl Strife and Millie Thompson, who follow him around in order to minimize the damage inevitably caused by his appearances. Most of the damage attributed to Vash is actually caused by bounty hunters in pursuit of the $60 billion double-dollar bounty on Vash's head. That probably makes Vash sound far more competent than he really is. Vash's shenanigans get a little old, but the action's always frenetic and fun. Six String Samurai, the greatest post-apoc movie no one talks about. Answering the question, what if a Buddy Holly impersonator was in a Shaw Brothers movie? I'm not even joking that much. The main character is a parody of Buddy Holly, down to his name being Buddy. Anyway, Buddy and a kitty picks up walk the wasteland on the way to Las Vegas to be the new king, determined by how deadly you are with a sword and their ability to thrash on a Gitbox.
I gotta get a new gig.
Slice me off a thigh, honey bunch.
Zoids, chaotic century to new era at least. The Zoids themselves are armored Terrence Poe, advanced technology suited mostly for arid environments of Planet Z. We follow mercenaries and so as they navigate the war between nations or just proving who's the best pilot.
On good days, I began to wear my shame like a badge of honor. But believe me, it wasn't easy to admit defeat time and again for months on end.
Sandland, a sheriff, two demons, and the cutest tank you've seen since Tank Police. On a road trip to find a water source to save the wasteland, created by the great Toriyama. You know, this guy. How do I feel about Desertpunk? Absolutely love it. Sorry if that's not really shown in this video, it's just this genre of punk really doesn't trend a lot of new ground. Now, not a bad thing. I have no problem with cliches as long as the overall product is fun and well made. And most of what I've run into is very well made. It's just the main architecture is taken from romanticized cowboy and samurai stories. And well, those stories have been done and redone a lot. It also helps I'm a fan of the Wasteland, especially insane stuff like the aforementioned Sandland, my favorite manga of all time, and Follow New Vegas, honestly one of the best revenge stories I've ever seen. The setting is right for punk stories. I may not be the biggest fan of humanity, but I'm endlessly impressed by their tenacity. Nothing is quite as punk as the whole world telling you to die and you respond with a middle finger and saying, no, you first. Sign out question. So this is just drier ocean punk. Yeah, 100%. It's something we're going to see often down the road, how punk influences other punks. Desertpunk definitely seems like what would happen if, after the world getting sunk, it then went through a period of dryness. You can even take it farther. The eco debacle that caused those punk worlds could have been caused by the over-industrialization caused by a cyberpunk or biopunk hellscape. So, EX Killer.
My job is not about taking somebody's life. It's about taking their souls.
It's also basically just cattle punk, except that one straight up is just what if the Old West had advanced technology. We'll get there. Well, this has been What's Up Punks. Till next time, retro never really goes out of style. Everything's retro 5 years after it debuts. Fairy girls are a cheap date, as cream is basically their tequila. And it's only the end of the world if everything is dead, not just humanity. But keep on being a no good, dirty punk.
You know it, you love it, here's the spiel, let's do it. Hit subscribe to be my subscriber. Hit the bell so you know when I've actually posted stuff. Still no idea why those two things are separate now, but whatever. And of course, hit like to appease the algorithm gods. All fear and praise. On a list of whatever YouTubes, I am also probably not going to get any ad revenue for these videos, so if you would be so kind, check out that Patreon and the GoFundMe. Links in the description.